Hello, Jeremy Parker here for the second part of my Commodore Amiga 500 restoration project. In the previous video, I was able to stop the destruction of the dreaded Varta internal battery, save my memory expansion module, and power up the machine for the first time in 30 years. I rescued Deluxe Music Construction Set and my first ever musical composition from when I was 12 years old. But in this video, I'll complete my restoration work, explore the audio circuitry of the Amiga, and discover the wide world of possibilities for my Amiga in the year 2022. So we're talking about RGB to HDMI conversion, floppy drive and Amiga emulation, hardware acceleration, compact flash hard drives, and floppy disk recovery tools. Cosmetically, the Amiga needed a little love, so I thought I'd try my hand at Retro-brighting for the first time. I had never heard of sous vide before, but apparently you can both cook chicken and retrobrite your computer with the same setup. I'm not sure if you can retrobrite the chicken though. Anyway, I'll also show how I made a back panel opening for my various mods that preserved the look of the stock Amiga 500. The key was designing a nifty little PCB that you can build yourself too. I will link to these files and all the great resources I found along the way in case you're also trying to figure out any of this stuff with your Amiga. Finally, I'll jam out with the Amiga using just the setup you see here, old school 80s style. As I mentioned in the last video, I'm going to be releasing the music I make for these videos outside of YouTube, so check the description for that as well. But without further ado, let's get into it. So it's been a couple weeks now, and aside from recapping the board and finishing my audio filter mods, I've been ordering some goodies. So I got my Gotek drive, I've got some blank floppies, and then from retro32.com, I've got this fancy new Amiga mouse pad. I've got a DB9 to USB mouse adapter, some blank disc labels, and even this 3D printed expansion port cover in case I want to mount some switches to it. But most importantly, I've got now the RGB to HDMI adapter for the Raspberry Pi Zero, which now enables me to have full color HDMI output for my Amiga. So I'm running Amiga Test Kit here. It's a free program by Keir Fraser. You can download it on his GitHub page, and it lets you check all the systems of the computer. And I'm happy to report that everything is working. If I go to memory, it's showing the correct amount of memory, chip RAM and slow RAM. And I've run through all the tests for it. The keyboard works. You can literally test every key if you want. Whoops. There we go. Controller ports, audio, video, even the real-time clock. I had done that mod where I added AAA batteries instead of the button cell battery, and that seems to be working as well. So it's all good. I want to demonstrate the audio filter switch I added. It's a 3-position switch. When it's in the middle, the Amiga controls the filter. But if it's on one side, then I can override and turn off the filter, or override and turn on the filter. So I'm going to go to the audio test in Amiga Test Kit, and I will turn on and off the filter by way of software, by way of the Amiga, and then by way of my switch. So you can hear it works the same. So here's a game I used to play a lot when I was a kid, Gianna Sisters, and by default it has the audio filters turned on, which I had no idea about when I was a kid, but I'm finding it nice to be able to override and turn off the filters in a case such as this where I think it just sounds better without the filters. I think that sounds better. Let's see how it is during the actual game. So this is back to Amiga controlled. All right, let me turn the filter off. Yeah. Oh! Yeah, I'm pretty terrible after all these years. But at least the audio sounds good. So it's been a few more weeks and I've got a few more goodies, so let me show you what's new. First of all, I have the DF0 DF1 drive select switch from Amiga Kit, which is a socket adapter and a toggle switch, and that lets you take whatever's plugged into the external drive port and have it act as if it's DF0. The reason I wanted to do that is because I wanted to put the original floppy drive back in the machine and have my Gotek optionally able to be acting as DF0. The next thing I got from Amiga Kit was this Greaseweazle version 4, which is a USB powered interface for old floppy drives of various formats and sizes, including for the Amiga double-sided double density discs, even on a drive that wasn't originally intended for that format. In fact, this is an old drive I pulled from the first PC I ever bought with my own money back before I went to college. It's working great. And the reason I wanted to get this is because it's potentially a better tool for recovering data off of old floppy disks due to the fact that it's trying to read the actual flux, the magnetic flux off the disks. In an effort to recover some of my old floppies while I was waiting for the Greaseweazle, I ran Xcopy from the floppy drive to my Gotek, and I successfully recovered Deluxe Music Construction Set and the data disk with my music on it, so I was very happy about that. However, many other discs like Wayne Gretzky Hockey and TV Sports Football were not able to be read. When the Greaseweazle arrived, I installed the software and then Don Mankin's Greaseweazle GUI, which is a Windows GUI that automatically creates the correct command line syntax. When I tried those same disks with the Greaseweazle, it did a better job of capturing more sectors of data, but I think these disks were just too far gone. Aside from more robust data recovery, another reason to use the Greaseweazle is that it's much faster than the Amiga floppy drives, so creating a bunch of ADF backups from your old disks will be a lot quicker. Then from individual computers, I picked up the ECS version of the Fat Agnus chip, which lets you increase your chip RAM from 512K up to 1 megabyte. And more importantly, I picked up the ACA 500 Plus, which is an accelerator card that plugs into the expansion port on the side here and has a lot of great features. It's still based on a 68000 processor, but it lets you overclock it up to 42 megahertz. Also, you can increase your fast RAM up to 7 megabytes, and it has a couple of compact flash card slots here that can act as hard drives accessible by the Amiga. The ACA 500 Plus won't be as fast as some of the other accelerators out there, like the Vampire, the PyStorm, or even the Terrible Fire, but I feel it's probably the easiest to use option from what I could tell, and in fact it comes preloaded with several Kickstart ROMs and even a full Workbench 3.1 installation that can be put on the boot card. On top of that, it's got this great user interface, and you can store any of the settings in up to 6 different profiles. So you could have one configuration that was very close to a stock machine to run older games without compatibility issues, but then you could also crank it up for games and applications that could handle it. After getting my feet wet with setting up the ACA 500 Plus, it seemed like I could have various configurations of the Amiga from bone stock as it was back in the day running floppy disks with no ACA 500 Plus installed, all the way to 42 megahertz, Workbench 3.1, extra RAM, and WHDLoad games running off the CF card. With the original setup, I could play all the old games the same exact way, and the machine could look and feel the same. Then if I wanted to, I could easily slap in the ACA 500 Plus and go to town with an accelerated A500 that I would have only dreamed of having as a kid. So this became the plan. I started off setting up WinUAE, which is an Amiga emulator that runs within Windows on my PC, so I could practice setting up things how I'd want to with WHDLoad. This includes actually loading up my CF card to have everything on it so I could either run programs on the emulator or the actual Amiga with the same CF card. I bought one of the Amiga Forever packages as well to get the licensed Kickstart ROMs and other useful files. I'm still learning which programs and games run better at what speed, but generally, it seems the old games I used to play run fine at the closer to stock configurations, while things like Deluxe Music Construction Set can take advantage of accelerated performance and are a lot more snappy and responsive with the user interface and graphics. Since the hardware and software were all working, it was time for cosmetics and potentially retro-brighting. This is a controversial topic with many schools of thought, but I found some great videos and articles that helped me navigate the facts from the myths, which I'll link to. While I realize that retro-brighting is a bleaching process and cannot prevent the underlying photooxidation of the ABS plastics that causes the yellowing, I felt that I could do a mild treatment and enjoy the results for as long as they lasted, if only to see the Amiga in like-new condition for a few years. At first, I thought having the ACA 500 Plus hanging out the side of the machine might ruin the look, but I found a very cool acrylic case made by Plexilaser that I figured I could also use as a platform to mount the Gotek drive on. I drilled out some holes in the plexiglass and tapped some holes in the bottom of the Gotek case. I used some machine screws and standoffs to finish the job. Since I had settled on two different configurations, one being completely stock and the other with the ACA 500 Plus, I wanted to conceal my internal mods in a way that would not ruin the look of the Amiga, which is probably my favorite looking computer of all time. I decided to make a small PCB and back panel opening to allow access to the HDMI and various switches. I figured I would convert the Raspberry Pi's HDMI mini jack to regular HDMI, and I chose some smaller switches that would match and fit within the available space. Since HDMI requires a certain impedance between the differential pairs, I had to lay out the PCB using a microstrip design and a specific PCB stack-up in mind. I will link in the description to all the PCB info and design files in case you'd like to make your own. I used Osh Park and their standard 4-layer PCB, so you should be able to order from them using the zipped up Gerber files. I received back the PCBs, populated them, and they worked. The last job to do was to make a back panel piece from some aluminum flashing and cut the corresponding opening in the back of the Amiga. I didn't want to screw this up, so I just went slow and steady, one step at a time. And it came out great, I think. I decided to bring the finished Amiga 500 over to my brother's place so he could see all of this for the first time in 30 years and play some classic games on his 75-inch TV, including the famed Sword of Sodan. A big part of why I did this whole project was just to spring it on him like this. Here it is.
Jesus, this thing.
Check that out. What do you think of that?
Man, it looks brand new. I used to play so many Gianna Sisters on this.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. I love these things.
The original external floppy drive. Check that thing out. This is
the 2-button mouse.
The tank mouse.
That's so good.
They call it.
Oh my god.
Oh, we saw it. What happened? Oh, there it is. Yay.
Oh my god. The two different I know something simple like that. Oh, is it good? Oh my god. Oh.
Yeah, double click on workbench.
Oh my god. Oh, this is easy. It's busy. Oh
Floppy disk sounds.
Oh my gosh.
I never thought I would see this ever again.
I never did either. Man, this looks so good.
Yeah, it looks great on the big screen.
Oh my god,
Select hero or heroine.
gosh! I made it past the first level!
Nice.
Oh yes, the spikes!
Quick, go now. Jump and jump. There you go. Yeah.
Oh.
Disc 3.
I'm in the city streets, Jeremy.
The mean streets of Zora's kingdom. Nice. Oh! Those dang barrels. Oh! It's alright, you got 3 lives left.
Oh,
That was like impossible. I don't know how
come
you
on.
jump the double barrels. That's...
What?
Oh, you dirty. Overhand sword.
Oh! Chopped his head off!
Can you believe we're playing this game right now?
This is unreal.
There's a lot of nice poetry in here. Oh, you son of... Nice. Hit strength increased.
I'm doing good.
Extra life, nice. Look at that.
Thank the gods.
Nice. Oh, that was good. Oh, you just made it. Wow. Oh my god. You made it far though. First time playing this game in 30 something years. You made it a lot farther than I did. Oh, I'm so sorry. Why? Why?
I didn't even wanna.
So that wraps up another restoration video, and what a fun project it was. With such an active and innovative Amiga community to inspire me, something tells me that this machine won't be sitting dormant for another 30 years. I realize that there is a very select audience who is both interested in Amiga restorations and has made it all the way through possibly both videos. So I thank you very much for your attention, and as a little treat, here's a period-inspired original composition done with my exact Amiga music setup as it was so many years ago. You already heard Parker's Fugue in C major, so I guess this one will have to be called Parker's Funk in C minor. Enjoy, and I'll see you in the next one.